Hello guys, welcome back. So in last lecture we learned inherent limitation and scope of audit. Okay, and now we are going to learn aspects of audit. So before starting with aspect of audit, let's revise inherent limitation and scope of audit. So inherent limitation of audit risk cannot be zero. Therefore, we cannot give absolute assurance. This is because of inherent limitation of audit. The inherent limitation of audit arises from the nature of financial reporting. Financial statements involve subjective decision, degree of uncertainty, acceptable interpretation, and judgments. Subjective decision, degree of uncertainty, acceptable interpretation, and judgments. Therefore, we cannot obtain absolute assurance. Due to such subjective things, we cannot obtain absolute assurance. Then, the nature of audit procedure. There are practical and legal limitations to obtain audit evidence, such as management or other parties may not provide complete information intentionally or unintentionally. Fraud can be sophisticated and carefully organized. Therefore, audit procedure and audit evidence may be ineffective due to sophisticated and carefully organized fraud. Audit procedure and audit evidence may be ineffective. Such intentional misstatement due to collusion and false documentation may not be detected by the auditor. Such such misstatement due to collusion and false documentation may not be detected by the auditor cause auditor is not trained for document authentication, and there is no legal power for investigation, nor he expected to do so. Third is limitation of financial reporting. Timeliness, timeliness of financial reporting. Balance should be struck between benefit and cost. Time, difficulty, and cost is not valid base for the auditor to omit the audit procedure, but balance should be struck between reliable information and cost. So, timeliness of financial reporting and balance between cost, benefit, and cost. So, in timeliness of financial reporting, time, difficulty, and cost is not valid base for the auditor to omit the audit procedure, and balance should be struck between reliable information and cost. Last point is summary point, that other information affecting the limitation of the audit includes other matters affecting the limitation of the audit includes future event may cause going concern issues, fraud including senior manager and collusion, existence of related party relationship, and non-compliance of laws and regulation. So these are inherent, these four are in due to all these 4 points there is inherent limitation, and due to inherent limitation audit risk cannot be zero, and therefore we cannot give absolute assurance. Next, we learn scope of audit. Auditor is not expected to perform duties outside the scope of his competence. Auditor should ensure that financial statement would not mislead anybody. Auditor should therefore financial statement should be clean and unambiguous and prepared as per applicable FRF. Auditor should cover all aspects of enterprise relevant for the audit of financial statement. Auditor should cover all aspects of enterprise relevant for the audit of financial statement. Financial statement should be drawn with reference to books of accounts. Books of accounts should be adequate and should support sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, and books of accounts should not omit any entries. by evaluating our accounting systems and internal control, and by test procedure he can perform all these duties. Okay, now we'll move ahead to our next topic, that is aspects to be covered in the audit. So before we learn aspects to be covered in audit, we should get a brief idea how audit happens. So we are doing audit of financial statement. Financial statements consist of balance sheet, P&L, notes to accounts, etc. So this is our balance sheet, and catch any item over here. Let's say asset. So how will we do audit? How will we get comfort that this number is correct? So we will tell our client to give ledger of this thing, this asset. So in this ledger of that asset, there will be opening balance, there will be closing balance. This closing balance would will come here, and there will be some current year entries. Okay, so for getting comfort on opening balance, we will check for balance sheet items opening balance. We will check previous year audited closing balance. So previous year closing balance will become current year's opening balance. Easy. So for getting comfort on opening balance of balance sheet items, we will check previous period audited closing balance. So if audited previous period audit closing balance match with this balance, means this balance is correct. So we get comfort on opening balance. For current year figure, we need to uh, test it in 4 stages. This co- this will put in our audit comfort bucket. So if this audit comfort bucket becomes full, means we have 100%, we have a reasonable amount of comfort on that item. So if we got comfort on opening balance and current year, then closing balance will be correct, because it's a balancing figure. So how to get comfort on current year transaction? For that we need to refer audit comfort bucket. So audit comfort bucket start from here, then comfort, and then it becomes full. We get reasonable assurance over here. So, first we need to test compliance with laws and regulation. We need to check whether laws and regulations are followed for that transactions. Everything is recorded as per Companies Act, CARO, accounting standards, and SEBI. So we need to check whether statutory requirement have been fulfilled, and authorized person have signed the document. So after checking whether statutory requirement is fulfilled as per Companies Act, CARO, AS, and SEBI and other regulatory entities, we get comfort on compliance of laws and regulations. So first we need to test compliance with laws and regulations. So we check whether statutory requirement have been fulfilled or not. So we will get comfort on laws and regulations. Next we will move ahead for test of controls. We will test uh, accounting system and procedure of the company. So we will understand how things have been recorded, how transaction recorded, whether internal control are effective, advocate, and efficient and implemented properly. So next we need to do test of control. In test of control we need to check whether internal control are effective, advocate, efficient, and implemented properly. And we need to review systems and procedures of the entity. After doing that we will get comfort on internal control. So second item of our audit comfort bucket is test of controls. After getting comfort on control, we will do substantive analytical procedure. In substantive analytical procedure, we need to compare balance sheet and P&L item with underlying records. Like sales, we will compare sales with sales place. If there is very small place or place of sale, how can he make so much such a big sale? If warehouse is so small that he cannot keep that much inventory, how can he sell? So by it depends on various other factors also. By such analytical things we will get comfort over here at in this stage, that is comparing balance sheet items with underlying record. For example, is comparing purchase with sale, comparing sales with sales place, etc. By doing all such things we will get comfort over substantive analytical. By performing substantive analytical procedure, our audit comfort bucket will become more full. We will get more comfort. Now we got comfort on internal control, we got comfort on compliance and laws and regulation. We checked substantive analytical, we did substantive analytical procedure. Now our comfort is fairly good. Now we need to do detailed test of accounts. So for detailed testing we need to refer to assertions. So there are 7 assertions. Acronym for assertion is CEVOP, CEVOAP. C for completeness, A for E for existence, V for valuation, O for occurrence, A for accuracy, and P for presentation and disclosure. So we need to check whether entries are complete, entries are accurate, all rights and obligations are fulfilled, whether entry have occurred or not. Then existence and valuation. For balance sheet items we will perform physical verification to check whether it exists or not. We will do valuation to get comfort over valuation of depreciation and valuation of the asset. So for balance sheet item we need to do physical verification to get comfort on existence. Then to get comfort on completeness, accuracy, rights and obligation, and occurrence, we need to check invoices, analytical procedure, cutoff procedure, and subsequent testing. Then we can get comfort on completeness, accuracy, rights and obligation, and occurrence. There is many more things in it. We will learn this in detail in further chapter, audit of items of financial statement. We will learn all this in detail. So then we need to check whether financial statement are prepared as per applicable FRF. So we need to get comfort on presentation and disclosure. So what are these for the time being we need to just learn what are the seven assertions. CEVOAP. C for completeness, E for existence, V for valuation, O for occurrence, A for accuracy, P for presentation and disclosure. So after if we got comfort on this 7 assertion, we can say our test of detail is done and our audit comfort bucket is full. We got a reasonable assurance that this item is true and fair. Okay, so now let's move ahead to our aspects to be covered in audit. So we need to relate all these things, audit comfort bucket, with aspects to be covered in audit. Therefore, I thought this now. Mm, these are related things. So in our audit comfort bucket, first thing was test of compliance with laws and regulation. In our aspect to be covered in audit, our first point is that confirming whether statutory requirement have been complied with. Okay, second point on our audit comfort bucket was test of control. Test of control, for related to test of control, our second point in aspects to be covered for audit is examination of internal control, whether they are effective, advocate, efficient, and implemented. And then we need to review the system and procedure. Third was substantive analytical procedure. Our next point is comparing balance sheet items with underlying record. Then we need to hear four assertion we need to we are covered in this question, that is existence, accuracy, cutoff, and presentation and disclosure. So for this four, I made new acronym, that is epic art. E for existence, P for presentation and disclosure, C for cutoff, and A for accuracy. Okay, so for existence we need to verification of title and existence of assets in balance sheet, verification of liabilities in the balance sheet. Then related to accuracy, checking the arithmetic accuracy of the books of accounts. Then for cutoff procedure, we need to check proper distinction have been made between item of revenue and capital. And in presentation and disclosure, we need to report to appropriate body. So there are 9 points of aspects to be covered in the audit. Okay, all, all these are we need to take clue from this audit comfort bucket. This audit comfort bucket is very important, very important. It will be very useful in our chapter of audit of item of financial statement. Okay, so first is test of compliance with laws and regulations, second is test of control, third is substantive analytical procedure, and fourth is test of detail. Once more, test of compliance with laws and regulation, test of control, substantive analytical procedure, and test of details. In test of details, seven assertions. What are seven assertions? C for completeness, and C for completeness, E for existence, V for valuation, O for occurrence, A for accuracy, P for presentation. Now aspects to be covered in order. First thing in our audit comfort bucket was compliance with laws and regulations. So our first point will become confirming whether statutory requirement have been complied with. Confirming whether statutory requirement have been complied with. Confirming whether statutory requirement have been complied with. Second point on in our audit comfort bucket was test of control, test of internal control. For internal control, we need to examine internal control, whether they are effective, advocate, efficient, it exists or not, and its implementation. So it is existence, advocate, effective, and implementation. Examine whether internal control exists. Examine whether internal control are advocate. Examine whether internal control are effective, and implementation of internal control is there. and then we need to review system and procedures. Then next, third point in our audit comfort bucket was substantive analytical procedure, in that we compare balance sheet and P&L item with underlying record. Then fourth point in our audit comfort bucket was test of details. For test of details, we need to go to assertions. Instead of all seven assertions, here we will check only for in this answer we need to write only four assertions. First answer assertion is epic. E for epic. E is verification. For existence, we need to check verification of title and existence of verification of the title and existence of assets in the balance sheet. Existence of assets in the balance sheet, verification of title and existence of assets in balance sheet, and same verification of liabilities in the balance sheet, verification of title and existence in balance sheet, verification of title, verification of liability in balance sheet. Next is accuracy, checking the arithmetic accuracy of books of accounts. Next is cutoff, proper distinction have been made between uh, item of revenue and item of capital items. Then presentation and disclosure, reporting to the whether proper reporting to appropriate body have been done or not. So these are our 9 aspects to be covered in audit. Let's do one last revision. First, confirming whether statutory requirements have been complied with. Second, examining whether internal control exists and are adequate, if are efficient or and are implemented. And reviewing reviewing systems and procedures, reviewing the systems and procedure. Fourth, comparing of balance sheet items with underlying records. Fifth, verification of title and existence of assets in balance sheet. Sixth, verification of the liability in the balance sheet. Seventh, checking the arithmetic accuracy of books of accounts. Eighth, proper distinction have been made between item of revenue and capital. Ninth, reporting to the appropriate body. So these 9 points, easy points. Now let's move ahead. Relationship of auditing with other disciplines. So here we need to mention relationship of audit with other disciplines, like with other subjects, like auditing have relationship with accounting, law, economics, behavior science, statistics and maths, data processing, FM, that is financial management, and production. So as an auditor we should have knowledge of all these things to perform audit effectively. So in this answer we need to write what with which all subjects auditing have a relationship with and why. So first, auditing and accounting. This is very obvious that auditing and accounting have a close relationship. This is because auditing is review of financial statement, and financial statement are result of overall accounting process. So obviously there is close relationship between accounting and auditing. Therefore auditor should have sound knowledge of generally accepted accounting principles. Okay, in auditing, first point is auditing and accounting. Auditing is review of financial statement, and financial statement is the result of overall audit accounting process. Therefore the accounting and auditing have a close relationship. Therefore auditor should have sound knowledge of generally accepted accounting principle. Second is accounting with law. Auditing involve examination of transaction whether properly entered or not. So auditor should have good knowledge of business laws like Indian Contract Act, Negotiable Instrument Companies Act, and tax laws and regulation. Therefore, auditing and law have close relationship. Okay, auditing involve examination of transaction whether properly entered or not, whether it is as per laws and regulations. We need to check whether it is as per laws and regulation, whether it is legal transaction, how it should be recorded as per Companies Act, how it should be recorded as per Negotiable Instrument Act, whether it follows tax laws or not. So we should have knowledge of all these laws. So auditing involves examination of transaction whether properly entered or not as per law. Therefore, auditing have close relationship with law. Therefore, auditors should have good knowledge of business laws like Indian Contract Act, Negotiable Instrument Act, Companies Act, and tax laws and regulation. Next is auditing and economics. Accounting is concerned with accumulating and presenting data related to economic activities. So, accounting is concerned with accumulating and presenting data related to economic activities. We in accounting we record economic activities performed by the company. So accounting is concerned with accumulating and presenting data related to economic activities. Okay, transactions are economic activities and we record transactions in accounting. So accounting is concerned with accumulating and presenting data related to economic activities. Therefore, there is close relationship between auditing and economics. Auditor is expected to be familiar with overall economic environment in which client is operating. So auditor is expected to be familiar with overall economic environment in which client is operating. So auditor should be familiar with overall economic activities in which client is operating, and accounting is concerned with accumulating and presenting economic activities. So auditor should have good knowledge of economics, and therefore there is close relationship between economics and auditing. Next point is auditing and behavior science. Auditing involves reviewing of various assertions, both financial as well as non-financial. Okay, auditor involve reviewing of assertions related with financial or non-financial. Auditor auditor need to interact with people for understanding entity and its environment, including internal control, by performing inquiry and observation. So auditor need to interact with people to understand entity and its environment, including internal control. How he will understand entity and its environment? By doing performing inquiry and observation. For performing inquiry and observation, auditor need to interact with people. Therefore auditor should have therefore auditing and behavior science have close relationship. Knowledge of human behavior is essential to effectively discharge his duties. Okay, so auditing involve review of various assertion, both financial as well as non-financial. Therefore, an auditor need to interact with people to understand entity and its environment, including internal control, for inquiry and by performing inquiry and observation. Therefore, auditing and behavior science have close relationship. Knowledge of human behavior is essential for to effectively discharge his duties. Knowledge of human behavior is essential for to effectively discharge his duties. Therefore, no auditing have relationship with behavior science. Next is and internal auditor is expected to deal with human beings rather than financial figure. This is also an important point that in internal audit, more than financial figures, he need to he need to evaluate human beings, whether they are performing effectively or not, moral check of employees, etc. Therefore, in internal audit, he is expected to deal with human beings rather than financial figures. This is also one reason where there is good relationship between auditing and behavior science. This could be a separate 4 mark question, that 4 mark or maybe 2 or 3 mark question only to explain auditing and behavior science. So what are our 5 points? First point, auditing involve review of various assertion, both financial as well as non-financial. Auditor interact with people to understand entity and its environment, including internal control, by performing inquiry and observation. Internal auditor is expected to deal with human beings rather than the financial figures. Therefore, there is close relationship between auditing and behavior science. Therefore, knowledge of human behavior is essential to effectively discharge his duties. Okay, next is auditing and statistics and mathematics. So auditing with statistics and mathematics. So for statistics, in audit, substantive analytical procedure is based on statistics and data analytics. So we learned above that auditor need to perform substantive analytical procedure, and substantive analytical procedure is based on statistic and data analytics, which is part of statistics. Therefore, there is a relationship between statistics and auditing, and auditor also need to do valuation, calculation of depreciation, check the accuracy of the financial transaction. Therefore, he should also have good knowledge of maths. So auditing also have relationship with statistics and mathematics. Therefore, auditor should have good knowledge of statistics and maths. For statistic, we keyword is substantive analytical procedure, and for mathematics, valuation, calculation and accuracy. Okay, now let's move ahead to next point, that is auditing with data processing. Data processing means, in our word, it is EIS. So basically, in this answer, we need to write all our subjects. Look, first we have accounts, law, economics, then statistics and mathematics, data processing. Only thing we don't have is behavior science, because this is general knowledge point. Okay, everything in this is related to our subject. FM, production may be related to costing. In costing, we get all information regarding auditing and production. Here it basically talks about joint products and byproduct, etc. So we were on data processing. So today organization are witnessing revolution in field of data processing of accounts. Today organization are witnessing revolution in field of data processing. So many organization financial accounting activities many organization financial activities are done with the help of computers. Auditing and data processing. So today organizations are witnessing revolution in the field of data processing, and many organizations financial accounting activities are done with the help of computers, like documentation, recording and allocation. Because accounting with computer process very large data with high speed, with perfect accuracy. So accounting with computer process very large data with high speed, with accuracy. With such a phenomenal growth in technology, auditors should also have knowledge of computerized information system of account or auditing. So today, organization are using data processing with computers, and financial accounting activities are done with the help of computers, because computers process very large data with very high speed and accuracy. So auditors should have good knowledge of computerized information of system of accounting, computerized information system auditing. Okay. Next is auditing and financial management. There is close relationship between auditing and financial management. Auditor is expected to have knowledge of financial techniques such as capital budgeting, ratio analysis, working capital management, etc. Fair knowledge of various institution and government activities that influence operation of financial market. So auditor should here it says that first of all, in first point we need to write that there is closer relationship. Then which no what all knowledge should auditor have. Auditor should have knowledge of financial techniques such as capital budgeting, ratio analysis, working capital management. All these topics are there in financial management. And also auditor should have fair knowledge of various institution and government bodies that influence operation of financial market. Such bodies which influence the operation of financial market, auditor should have knowledge about such institutions. Okay. So auditing, this is auditing and financial management. Next is auditing and production. Good auditor are one who understand client's business and core system. So the good auditor is one who understand client's business and core system. Auditor evaluate transaction related to joint product and byproducts. Therefore, understanding of terminology of production is important, because it helps in communicating with the employees at client's place. So why auditor should have knowledge of production? Because to audit good auditor is one who understand client's business and core system. Also auditor need to evaluate joint product and byproduct. And understanding terminologies of production is also important too, because auditor need to communicate with employees at client's place. So these are the 8 subjects which auditing have relationship with. So our question is relationship with auditing, or relationship of auditing with other disciplines. So first was auditing and accounting. Here first point we need to write auditing is auditing reviews financial statement. Financial statement are result of overall auditing process. Therefore there is close relationship between auditing and accounting. And auditors should have good knowledge of generally accepted accounting principles. Three easy points. First, auditing is a review of financial statement, and financial statement is result of overall auditing process. Therefore he should have therefore auditing and accounting have close relationship, and therefore auditor should have good knowledge of generally accepted accounting principles. In second point also there are three. In second, auditing with law, here also we have 3 points. First, auditing is examination of transaction whether properly entered or not. Therefore auditing and law have closer relationship. Auditor should have good knowledge of business laws such as Indian Contract Act, Companies Act, Negotiable Instrument Act, tax laws and regulation. Auditing involve examination of various transactions whether properly entered or not in the view of law. So we should have good knowledge of law. So here I forgot to write in the view of law. Next is auditing and economics. So we know that accounting is concerned with accumulating and presenting data related to economic activities. Auditing is concerned with accumulating and presenting data related to economic activities. Therefore there should be closer relation therefore there is closer relationship between auditing and economics, and auditor is expected to be familiar with overall economic environment in which client is operating. Okay, next is auditing and behavior science. Here we have 5 points. First, auditing involve recording of various assertion, whether financial or non-financial. Here keyword is non-financial. Involve review of various assertion, financial and non-financial. Second point, auditor need to interact with people to get understanding of entity and its environment, including internal control. He get this understanding by way of inquiry and observation. And in internal audit, auditor is expected to deal with human beings rather than financial figures. Therefore there is closer relationship between auditing and behavior science. Therefore knowledge of human behavior is essential to effectively discharge his duties. Next is auditing and statistics and mathematics. Auditing with statistics and mathematics. So audit, substantive analytical procedure is based on statistic and data analytics. Therefore auditor should have good knowledge of statistic. And in auditing, the auditor need to perform valuation calculation of various figure, checking arithmetic accuracy. Therefore auditor should have good knowledge of mathematics. Next is auditing with data processing. In today's world, we are witnessing a revolution in the field of data processing, and many organizations are using computers for performing financial accounting. Then this is because computer process very large data with high speed and accuracy. Therefore many firms are choosing computerized method of accounting. So with such a phenomenal growth in this field, auditor is also expected to have good knowledge of computerized information system auditing. Okay, in today's world everything is based on computerized system because of f- uh, because computers are able to handle large data with large speed and accuracy. Therefore in today's world everyone is moving towards computerized system of accounting. Therefore auditor should also have knowledge of computerized information system auditing. Okay, next is auditing and financial management. Auditing and financial management have close relationship. Auditor is expected to have knowledge of financial techniques such as capital budgeting, ratio analysis, working capital management. All these are subjects in FM, chapters in FM: capital budgeting, ratio analysis, and working capital management. Therefore, so yeah, we are expected to have knowledge of all this field to perform audit. Therefore I have kept that in our syllabus. And fair knowledge of various institution and government activities that influence operation of financial market is also important. From government institutions such as RBI etc influence the operation in financial market. So we should also have fair knowledge about such institution. Next is auditing and production. A good auditor is one who understands the client's business and core system. Auditor should evaluate transaction related to joint products and byproducts, and understanding of terminology of production is important to communicate with employees at client's place. Therefore auditor should have good knowledge about production and knowledge of client's business. So this 8 are important subjects related to accounts. In brief: accounting, law, economics, behavior science, mathematics, data processing, financial management, and production. 8 subjects. Okay, that's it for today. We'll meet in next lecture.